What's going on YouTube? Chris Hayden here, Reticulous Reptiles. How are ya? Hey guys, sorry I missed last week. I was at an air show and I didn't have enough time to edit a video. And then this week I've been fighting a cold, so what I'm going to do is, if I cough, I do apologize. I'm going to kind of take it easy. I'm just going to take a seat here really quickly. I had a subscriber ask me what are the genetics, and they were kind of confused about what is normal, what is codominant, what does pastel mean, what does all of that mean. So this week's episode, guys, is going to be on genetics. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry, I really almost coughed there pretty good. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're watching Reticulous Reptiles. Alright, first things first, we have to set a baseline for ourselves, and that is this little guy right here. This is a normal ball python, guys, and as you can see, he is S'd up. He is, or she, I haven't sexed him yet, but ready to go, ready to light me up if I put my finger or anything in front of its face. But, you know, it thinks I'm some 20-story tall monster. But this is a normal genetic. If I was to breed a normal to a normal, 100% of the babies, they come out looking just like this, normal. So this is our baseline, guys, a normal ball python, no genetic mutations. Now, let me show you what a codominant trait looks like. Now, a super form is essentially just a visually more aesthetic, it more yellow, it's more everything. Now, once you create a super version of a codominant, let's say a super pastel for instance, if I breed a super pastel to a normal, all of the babies come out pastel. That's why it's a super. Now, while I was actually filming this, guys, I didn't even think twice to think about it. I actually don't have a dominant trait snake in my collection at the moment, but an example of one would be a pinstripe ball python, like this one right here. Now, that snake right there, if I breed a pinstripe ball python to a pinstripe ball python, there is no super form. It just creates pinstripe babies. Now, if you breed a pinstripe to a normal, 50% of the babies come out pinstripe and 50% of the babies come out normal. So it is a dominant trait. It is a 50-50, but it doesn't have a super form. So that is the difference between codominant and dominant. Alright guys, next up is Casper. Casper is a recessive trait. He is called a ghost ball python. What a recessive trait is, and I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible. If you breed a ghost ball python like Casper to a normal, all of the babies come out looking normal, but all of the babies will carry a hidden trait known as a heterozygous trait. They have the ghost gene in them, they just don't look ghost. So that is the difference, I guess, mostly in simplistic terms as far as heterozygous and recessive traits go. In order to create a baby, such as Casper here, that looks like a ghost ball python, both parents must have the ghost gene, whether they are a complete recessive trait, such as Casper, or a heterozygous where they look normal, but they have the ghost gene inside of them. Alright, we're on the home stretch, guys. Give me a little bit more time here. I've only got a few more snakes. So home stretch, we're almost done. Okay, you guys all know Baby. She is what's called a lemon blast ball python. So, what does it mean, lemon blast? So, you can see her yellow tint to her body, the color difference. So, she is a pastel ball python, and you'll see the pattern. It's very thin. Okay, that genetic trait is known as pinstripe, which looks like this. Now, if you combined pinstripe, which is a dominant trait, to pastel, which was a co-dominant trait, you get this, which is two genetics in one snake. So that is why she is considered more valuable than some of those others, is because she has two genetics in her. Alright, now let's take it a step further. The recessive trait, the ghost ball python, can you combine a recessive trait with a dominant trait? The answer to that question, guys, is right here. This is a Enchi ghost ball python. So the Enchi is a co-dominant trait, meaning that there's a super form to it, and then the ghost genetic, which was the recessive trait. Ghost, also known as hypomelanistic. What does that mean, guys? It means that you'll see her black. It's not black. It's actually more kind of a grayish brown. That's because hypomelanistic, it means that it's missing most of the black pigment in the genetic. Albinism is the extreme version of that. Albinism, you're missing all of the black pigment. Hypomelanistic, you're missing most of the black pigment. But this is an example, guys, of a co-dominant snake with, sorry, she's trying to escape, a co-dominant snake with a recessive trait as well. And here we are at the end, guys. Thank you so much for watching this week. Okay, it meant a lot to me to kind of go over this because I've had people asking me, what is the difference between pastel and normal, and what are those traits and what does it mean? And so I'm happy that I was able to go over the genetics a little bit with you guys, a little bit more in depth. I know that I didn't get all the way through, such as allelic traits. I don't have a snake to really demonstrate allelic traits to you guys right now, but I hope to maybe next season. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But once again, I really do appreciate you guys sticking it through with me, watching this episode. Please comment down below, hit that like button, subscribe, and as I say at the end of every episode, take care of somebody else, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next week. Sorry guys, I know I missed last week. Last week, that's a new one. He has to have such as ghost, or it's also known as hypomelanistic. It's missing some of the melanin. And subscribe, and as I say at the end of every week, so close.